Welcome back to part 2 of our A to Z of Scotland series. Today we're at Barr Fort, which is a Roman fort on the Antonine Wall in a wee village called Twechar in East Dunbartonshire. It's about an 800 metre walk from the village up to Barr Hill, and we've never been before, so this is something new and interesting for us. And so far it's been a fairly gentle hill. There's lovely views over to the Campsies from the walk. You gonna chase Daddy? Go, go, go! Oh look, there's an even better view. So the path we've been on is actually part of the John Muir Way, and so we have to take a turn here to go through this gate and up to the Roman fort site under the Ancient Monuments and Archaeological Areas Act of 1979. It is a crime to damage this historic site. So the Antonine Wall runs from the Clyde to the Forth, but I had actually never heard of this place until we were looking up places to go that started with B for our challenge, and it jumped out because it's so interesting and it's a nice little walk as well, so it kind of ticks a few boxes. If you missed part 1, we went to Aberlady for letter A, and it's a challenge for the new year where we visit places of interest, little kind of hidden gems for each letter of the alphabet, and the only stipulation is that we can visit in a day trip and that we haven't been before or don't know it very well. So, welcome to Barr Hill. The fort before you was built at the highest point on the Antonine Wall. It guarded the northernmost frontier of the Roman Empire more than 1800 years ago. A few hundred Roman soldiers were stationed within Barr Hill's turf ramparts,
which is what this hill is.
Seek out their headquarters in the centre of the fort and the bathhouse on the far side. So here we go.
3.
The Antonine Wall stretched 37 miles coast to coast, connecting the Clyde to the Firth of Forth. This sophisticated frontier system, which included many forts like Barr Hill, was designed to consolidate newly conquered territory in about AD 142. Today it is part of the frontiers of the Roman Empire World Heritage Site, which also includes more southerly Hadrian's Wall and the German Limes border defences.
Yeah, because they never occupied all Germany.
Principia. You're outside the Principia, which was the fort's headquarters. So you can see all the little ruins over here. It took about 2 years to construct the Antonine Wall. Around the headquarters are traces of ditches within which the first Roman surveyors pitched their tents. Work squads built a 4-metre high rampart of turf on a stone foundation and cut a wide deep ditch in front. So in this building here, it says Roman soldiers took orders, received wages and compiled reports for Rome in this building. We know the names of 2 commanding officers or prefects who addressed their men here: Caristianus Justinius and C. Julius Marcellinus. There were also shrines in the headquarters where soldiers worshipped many deities, including Mars Camulus, an amalgam of Celtic and Roman war gods. Does he look like a scary man? Mm. And he's wearing a hat, yeah. So it says here this site was excavated in 1902 to 5. Archaeologists returned in 1978 to 82. They uncovered stone buildings, turf ramparts, wooden barracks and objects including a metal window grille, a wagon wheel and up to 400 leather shoes, which are all now in the Hunterian Museum. Right, don't fall down the well. So this was the headquarters where all the Roman soldiers were stationed. And it says on this plaque over here that they would compile reports to send back to Rome from this site here. It's quite amazing how the empire, it was so huge. But this was like the edge of it really, wasn't it?
Yeah. So, I think the dates of when they built it, when they left, they lived here for like 40 years.
Oh really?
But there was multiple campaigns in Scotland. That I think were basically, I think our theory that it's decided it wasn't worth the hassle.
Wasn't worth it fighting all the locals. What does that mean? Dais?
It's like a stage platform. Like a raised bit.
It is raised.
This is the hall. It's like the hall. So maybe the
And that over there, that little sign
used to
says
see stuff from here.
regimental office. So if that's Kirky over there, does that make that Cosaith? Yeah. Amber did such a good job. She walked pretty much the whole way up herself, didn't she? So this here, which you can see on the little lower part there, was the regimental bathhouse. It says soldiers came here to get clean, chat and relax. It was the social hub of the fort. Rooms were warmed by heat flowing from a furnace under the raised floor and up through pipes in the walls. So it says here the military diet was based on bread and porridge, supplemented by cheese, bacon and vegetables and seasoned with imported spices. Archaeologists found that Barr soldiers also ate beef, mutton, venison, walnuts, oysters and mussels. Oh, they found a miniature wine barrel with its owner's name, Ian Varvifs, written on it. So it says, posting to Barr meant long hours on sentry duty, patrols into Caledonia north of the Antonine Wall, maintaining defences and intensive weapons practice and drilling. One unlucky soldier had to clean the latrines at the far end of the bathhouse. So let's go and get a better look at the bathhouse. Oh, this was the furnace here. So this was what was used to heat the bathhouse. So this was the hot room, ironically called the caldarium. Although calda is still hot in Italian,
Is it? Oh, there you go.
I think. The warm room, tepidarium, tepid.
Different level.
A passage in the hot dry room, laconicum. The cold room, frigidarium. The cold room is called the frigidarium. The changing room, apoditerium. And the latrines. Oh. Isn't it amazing to think that these Roman soldiers actually lived here all those years ago? And like, I grew up not far from here, less than like 10 minutes drive from here, and I've never been here before. I think that looks like the Forth and Clyde Canal that you can see over there. There's a nice walking path next to it, so I think it must be the canal. Is this great fun? Whoa, you're good at climbing hills, Amber. Careful. Whoa. So we've noticed another information board up here, so we're going to go and check that out. The inhabitants of Caledonia have reddish hair and large but flaccid bodies. They live in wattled huts, a shelter used in common with their flocks, and often the woods are their home. Roman historian Jordanes, mid-6th century AD. Whoa! Touch! Yay!
Touch.
What did you think of the Barr Hill Roman fort then?
That's quite good.
Fascinating that it's here, so close to where we've spent a lot of time and didn't really
It
know.
kind of shows that. I mean, you obviously know about the Antonine Wall and you see signs when you're driving around, but it's not really
That well publicised, no.
to read.
Yeah, it was a nice short walk with a wee bit of a hill, so it made you feel like you were getting the blood pumping.
Oh, yeah,
And it was lovely to have something to look at the top and learn some history and discover some facts about the Romans in this area. So yeah, definitely would be a worthwhile walk if you're interested in Roman history or just this area in general. The one thing about here is that there was no car park for this walk, but you can park on the street in Twechar, and there's also like an industrial estate across the road, which presumably during the week wouldn't really be okay to park in, but at the weekend
Busier.
it's possibly okay. It always feels quicker on the way back down. Hope you enjoyed this little trip up to see the Roman fort at Barr Hill. This was part 2 of our A to Z of Scotland series, so I've made a playlist and you can watch them all in order. If you haven't already watched part 1, our trip to Aberlady, I'll link it below. If you've got any good ideas for where we could go for letter C, write me a comment below. I'd love to see all your suggestions. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye!
Right.